Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on our 150th episode. On this day, December 14th, 2023, at approximately 6:52 p.m. Eastern Time, the world stopped. When we were informed by X that The Last of Us Factions has officially been canceled by Naughty Dog. Ladies and gentlemen, let us show our respects by having a moment of silence for our fallen comrade.
I told you.
Shut up, Rob.
I told you, man. I told you 100 times that shit is not coming to see the light of day. I'm sorry. Anyways,
Joining me is, of course, Rob the Robot. And to help everyone grieve during this despairing time, please help us welcome IGN's Kevin Diaz.
Ooh,
Kevin.
IGNs. Ooh.
Thank you for pushing through tonight
okay.
and joining us. Kevin, how are you feeling right now? What are your thoughts? What's going through your mind right now?
It's been about an hour, doing okay. I went outside for a little bit, I watched the sunset on the beautiful
Did you?
areas on the
Yeah.
sky, and it's just like,
It's dark over here, so I can't do that.
and
it's already dark.
You just went outside pitch
It's
black.
already dark.
You saw the moon
Yeah,
on some
just-
Batman, on some Batman
yep.
type vibe, bro. But maybe Factions was just the friends we made along the way, like maybe maybe we're all Factions,
I'm lost. I have no words today, man.
Look,
I
no.
honestly was gonna quit. I was like, you know what? I don't think today's the day to do the episode. But you know what?
Man.
I'm here. You know what I mean?
The
You're here.
show must
Rob's
go on,
here.
man.
Yeah,
Show must
show
go
must
on,
go on.
man.
I'm proud
Rob,
of
how are
you.
you feeling? You backstabber.
How
Great.
You
great.
were like, oh, I called this. Oh, this is.
There's
this
so
is
many. There's so many Robs on so many takes. So many.
There's not enough
Robs,
Kevins out there. You know what I
Not
mean?
enough Kevin and Kelvins. You know what
I'm
I'm
just
saying?
saying that, every time we heard something about it, I was like, it's this game. This guys, it's taking too long. It's taking too long. There's something wrong. There's something
You ever heard
wrong
of Hope,
here.
Rob? You ever heard of Hope?
Listen,
man?
I've been on the Hope train and I've been through it, guys. I've been through what you've been through. Times.
What game were you like really pushing for and it just never came out? Was it just Scalebound? Is that what it was? Is that
Scalebound was
like
a good one. That was a good one. I was really hoping for that game. And
I have one.
Oh, I got a good one too.
I have one that hurt me really bad. Star Wars 1313. I will never get over it.
Mm,
I will never get over it. I will never, ever, 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 ever get over it.
that's tough. That's a tough one. Rob, what about you?
Remember Versus 13?
Yeah.
Where it like came out and like it didn't come out, but it was 13, but it was also 14. It was or 15.
Yeah.
It was weird, yeah. So fun time.
I mean, I think this is the one for me, man. Rob,
This one hurts, bro.
This one hurts. This one,
hurts
when
really
I
bad.
saw that, my heart dropped. The world stopped, like I said. You know what I mean? I think this is a dark time for the gaming industry right now, and I think we'll move on. We'll push through, right? I think everyone does, but this one hurts. This one's gonna be probably written down as probably the worst. The worst part in the gaming industry this year in 2023. Well, we'll see what happens, but we're going to talk more about that. But if you're joining us for the first time, thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. We are the podcast that discusses the gaming news, the gamers. We keep the gamers up to date. Sorry, I already messed up this here. On the latest news and heated discussions about the gaming industry. Our full episodes are up Fridays exclusively on your favorite podcast services, but you can watch the main topics of the show on YouTube every Wednesday. That's youtube.com/the Gaming Duo Podcast. If you want to support us, you can definitely do so by heading on over to thegamingduopod.com. Leave us a review. That'd be fantastic. And then you could just head over to our merch store and check out our merch. Again, you can support us in many ways, so please do so. Guys, thank you for tuning in. I know this was a very a sad introduction to this, but let's hype things up a little bit because we have a lot to talk about. Kevin, I introduced you briefly, but
Indeed.
to really get into the nitty gritties, who are you, Kevin? And thank you for tuning in again for us.
Who are you?
Who are you? I think of the Force Awakens trailer, with Maz Kanata. Is that right? Is that her name?
I'm not a.
No,
I am not.
I'm not a big Star Wars person.
Damn, I forgot what. But who am I? Well, I'm a content syndication editor at IGN, as you said as well. But I am still would like to make content. Just have it in a few months. Been busy. life and such, but I have plans to come back in 2024,
Okay.
and I run a channel called PlayStation Source where we keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. It's a bit serendipitous that we're talking about a big PlayStation, happening here, with me here, but yeah, so I love PlayStation, even through its ups and its
Even through this hard time, that we're
even through
dealing
its
with.
live service downs, it's all right, man. We will prevail. Valhalla is great.
Oh my God.
There's
We're
that.
gonna talk. I think this
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the
yeah, we gotta
perfect
talk.
time for you to come in, honestly,
Oh
because
yeah,
we are
PlayStation.
post. Yeah, a lot of PlayStation stuff, right? We're post the gaming, the Game Awards, right? And Valhalla came out. Like, there's so much Sony concept, but just in general, like gaming news to talk about that. Not necessarily part of the news per se, but it's just a really good conversation that we're gonna have today. Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm so sad to hear this news.
No, you're not.
So sad.
Don't do
I'm
this to
so
us.
sad, guys. Oh, I didn't see this
Why
coming from a mile
do you
away.
enjoy this though? Why are you enjoying this? Like, people
Just
are, dude.
just rubbing salt in the wound.
I'm
Yeah.
not rubbing salt in the wound. I just the signs were there. I've seen this dance before of other games. It just the writing was on the wall. We haven't heard. I was maybe a little hopeful we want to see something on the Game Awards or something like that. Just like, come on, just like give us something. But there's reports after reports after reports. It's getting pushed back. And I'm just like, it's not happening, guys. I'm sorry, and that's why I never got my hopes up. Did I enjoy The Last of Us multiplayer? It was fun. It was a good time. I had a blast playing that. But
Oh, yeah.
then, I don't know, guys.
I don't know.
Well, you know what though?
Yeah.
There's gonna be another multiplayer game you guys are gonna love, and it's called Helldivers 2. Right?
No, I mean, listen, shout out to Helldivers.
I mean,
It'll fill the void a little bit.
Shout out, but
I know.
I don't know. Man, oh my God. All right. Let me dive into some things here real quick, because Kevin, you're gonna be the star of the show right now, because we're gonna really hone down on a lot of questions on you. Let's start with just what we're playing, right? I think everyone has been playing God of War Valhalla, and I want to make sure we get our impressions on that real quick before we move on to the gaming news. What are your thoughts? I'll start with you, Kevin. You've been tweeting nonstop, and you actually got me incredibly hyped. I was last night, right? I'm like, you know what? I'll play this tomorrow. I'll try it tomorrow. I'm not gonna do it now. I'm in bed and I'm scrolling through Twitter. I see Kevin posting left and right. You need to play this. This is like, for OG fans here, and I'm just like, damn. What am I doing with my life? Right? I need to go downstairs. And sure enough, I went downstairs and played it. But Kevin, what are your thoughts?
I just can't believe that this was just announced at the game. Which, like, great, great place to announce something like this, right? Like, announce it, right? But just the way they position this mode, just a little thank you from Sony Santa Monica to the fans, what I'm saying? Just a little roguelite side mode type. Like, the way they talked about it, like, did not like this is a story DLC that is a roguelike mode. Right.
Yep.
Like, and we're not going to get even into the nitty-gritty of what makes this a story DLC. There are just certain elements that are directly from where Ragnarok is left off and the remnants of that. And they did say that in their Game Awards presentation, with it being a bit of an epilogue, right, to the Ragnarok story, right, which I think still stands true to what they said. But there's a whole other angle to this that I genuinely feel bad if you've only played 2018 and Ragnarok. I don't think any of this hits for you. I really don't. Like, you get some things in Ragnarok about Kratos' past that I won't get into at all, really. Like, you hear Kratos, say certain things and explain certain things about his past, during the Ragnarok story, but this is a whole nother level of that. This is a whole nother level of that, and this is something that I have been hoping for them to address, right? Where, like, there is a bit of a disconnect between 2018 and Ragnarok versus God of War 1, 2, 3, Ascension, Chains of Olympus, and Ghost of Sparta. Right, like there's a little bit of a difference there, right? Like, you not even just in gameplay, but just of Kratos just is just a whole different person.
Right.
Not a whole different person, but you know,
Yeah, but he's definitely
personality-wise,
softened up.
changed.
Yeah. softened up, aged, and like it's not even just that, but like he just doesn't necessarily touch on what was before in the Greek world, right?
Right.
This DLC does that, you know, and that's and it does it in ways that I was not expecting. It does it in ways where I wasn't expecting it to be a free DLC. I think they could have easily gotten away with paying for
For
this,
sure.
honestly,
For
easily.
sure.
And it's just genuinely fun, you know. I do have some things where like I have some nitpicks of like they have all these like symbols on the doors, right?
Mhm.
That are, I think, very much not readable. Even if you've played Ragnarok, like you have no idea what the hell this logo means and this symbol means on this door. But I'm finding myself constantly going and pressing the touchpad and hitting L3 to go to the key to see what symbols mean what. I think they could have still made Norse looking symbols and iconography, but still it'd be like, okay, yeah, this is a runic door, or this is, you know, to get a new ability for my weapon, etc., or this for health, right? Like there's a little bit of disconnect there that I don't love about this mode so far, but there's a lot of depth to this. This is much more than just a combat zone that a lot of people just assumed. And kind of like the way they presented it, where like it kind of felt just a little bit like they were saying, oh, you know, this is just a combat trial, you know, enjoy. But this is so much more. So much more.
Yeah, they definitely underhyped this, at least from the trailer, right? From what the
Absolutely.
trailer looks like. I'm like, okay, I get what you're doing. You're doing like this kind of roguelike, you know, extra content for us, and it's free. Totally get it. It's like a side thing. Great, cool. But then as it rolled out and I started seeing people's impressions, it's like, oh no, this is like there's story in this. There's actual like beat for beat stories that are actually really freaking good. So when I'm hearing that, I'm like, oh, okay, like that's good. I like that they incorporated that. So getting into it, diving in, I totally saw it. I'm like, oh, okay. Like it's great because you don't necessarily like you don't want, or at least for me, right? If they give you DLC, some type of extra content after, you know, post launch, post game, it's great and all, but going back to the same routine and doing the same thing again, as far as like the game mechanics, it kind of like it lessens the experience a little bit, right? This is a totally different experience within the mechanics of God of War, right? And so I love that they were able to kind of twist that and make that into a roguelike experience. And just the way they built that on top of creating that story for OG fans, like you said in your tweets, right? Like this is legit OG fans. Like you'll see a lot of things from the past, like Kratos's past, that you're like, oh shit, I remember that. And it's like it's so cool how they incorporated that. And I feel like that's a sign of what Sony and like Sony Productions, like Sony Studios can do, right? They can like switch things up if they want, try things out, and it sticks for the most part, right?
Yeah. This is something that we didn't know we needed or wanted until they did it, right? Like you didn't know you wanted a roguelike addition to God of War 2. You didn't know that.
Right.
And here we are, we're playing it. And I do like the fact that you're getting tidbits of story going through this challenge, right? A lot of the roguelikes, sometimes you kind of are just doing it just to get to the end and that's it. Whereas this, you push because you want to know what's going on. You're like, wait. And then when you die, you're like, I gotta go through it again. But I want to because I need to get that piece of the story, because again, as an old time fan of the series, you're hoping that you might see something. I feel like, Kevin, you got pretty far. I don't know how far you got. I don't know if did you beat it?
No.
Okay. All right.
I'm playing on the second hardest difficulty.
Same.
I think I can. So from what I've experienced, right? There's the first section, right? You beat that Valhalla's Chosen, right? Then you beat the boss, right? Then you go to the next portion.
Gotcha.
That's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
I'm at the next portion.
And
that's where the crazy shit's at. Yeah,
that's where do things open up where you're like, holy fucking shit. Like,
that's where like they could have charged for this, because like what you're seeing in that first part is like, yeah, you see the reused assets of all the realms, and like even Mimir is saying like, yeah, like these are all manifestations
memories.
of what you remember about
Right,
these places. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So like that's but then it goes into the depths of Kratos' memory, and that's probably all we'll say at that point. Yeah, it goes deep.
Let me ask you a
It goes
question
deep.
without ruining it or spoilers.
Okay.
Tread lightly here, I guess. Past that part you're saying, they're basically just talking about his past for the most part. Do you get to see things from his past? Is that what you're alluding to? That you will see different things that are maybe from the old games? Like,
Have you
things?
played it, Rob?
I got to the part where I'm about to get to the Chosen. I think I died at the Chosen.
Okay.
That's where I stopped. So,
And I'm
'cause-
probably even before that. I haven't played that much. Like I said, I played last night.
Oh,
I
so
got
none
a
of y'all.
decent amount. You're definitely further ahead than we are.
yeah. Okay, so we haven't even hit the meat of the DLC yet.
Right. But based off of what everyone's saying, it's like
Okay.
a treat.
Okay.
And like you said, they should have charged for this, and we would have probably
Yeah.
happily purchased this.
Y'all will see. I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
All right.
I can't.
Fair
I
enough.
can't.
Fair
I
enough.
can't. But y'all will see. Y'all will see, and y'all will be like, oh, y'all will see because people. I mean, like, Kev, like, what are you talking about? Like, you would have wanted them to charge for this, but it's like, no, like, y'all will see.
You don't understand. Yeah.
Y'all will see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Y'all will see.
Well, let me ask you this real quick. Did you play
I'm not
this
saying
on
70,
your board?
but just like 30.
Yeah, no,
30,
I think
40,
30
10.
would be like
Yeah.
30,
I think
20,
30.
Not
yeah.
like 70. Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
No. Did you play this on your portal?
I haven't yet, but I have been using God of War to test the portal. So I went to LA for Game Awards. I worked at the IGN office for Game Awards and such. I went to the JW, all that fun stuff. Great time. But I used that trip to kind of test out, okay, how does the portal stand up to, I've used my portal at work about 9 miles from my house. I've used it at the airport in Phoenix about, we'll say around like 20-ish miles, maybe less than that. How is it fair in a whole nother state?
Right.
So I was playing a lot of God of War to kind of test that on like a single player game that like isn't something that's like really fast, twitchy, like type of vibe. So yeah, like that's mainly what I've been playing on Portal, but I haven't played the Valhalla DLC on Portal yet. No.
Okay. I would imagine it's going to play pretty well because I tried PlayStation. I played Remote Connect on my Asus ROG Ally, and Spiderman ran pretty flawlessly on it. So I'd imagine PlayStation's own handheld remote would probably run God of War pretty good. Also, can we talk about how beautiful of a game God of War is going back to it?
Oh my god, yes.
I went back because that's the thing I loved about the Game Awards. It made me go back to games I already beat, right? I made me go back to Final Fantasy 16, made me go back to God of War, and I'm like, damn, this game's freaking gorgeous, and it plays so well. So I'm glad I got the opportunity to go back.
Have y'all seen the Portal yet?
Not in person.
No, not in person.
Well, I guess this is in person, but I do have it right here.
He's
So
showing us. Oh, look at this.
We can
Oh,
try to
it's
do a
nice
little size
case.
comparison. So
You
this
have
is,
it in a case right now. What
so
is it? Okay.
This is the travel case that I bought for it. I do have it in a clear case right here. I don't love this clear case, if I'm being honest. It's not really that well. I'll try to aim it up so I'm not pointing my camera at the
right.
But I don't love this case. It's a little bit kind of cheap and like it is too smooth. Where like there's no really good grip on it.
Right.
I feel like it's very slippery. I'm probably gonna get a different case for it. Don't recommend this one that I have.
Fingerprint magnet, or no? Is it like that weird TPU type
on the like touchscreen?
No, on the case itself. Is it like?
I mean, yeah, I guess it's just as clear, so I don't really even see like any fingerprints, but like it is mad slippery. You know what I'm saying? Like off of like I wash my hands, but like the like natural, oils of
yeah.
always.
Gamer grease is what we like to call it.
I'm not like dirty as shit. But
yeah, you're not a greasy guy. It's just that's just how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I did think that it plays really well, at least when I was at work and when I was at the airport. I think when I was at the airport in Phoenix, you know what I'm saying? And both those times I'm using my phone's hotspot, and I'm allowing the portal to connect to my phone to then go to my PS5.
And it worked pretty flawlessly, or
yeah.
you felt it really? Okay.
I would say it worked really well in my state when I was at work and then at the airport. Now, when I was in California on the tarmac, you know what I'm saying? It was a little
bumpy, was unusable basically.
Got a little choppy. Yeah. Unfortunately, I was too caught up in everything that was going on. I didn't get to try it at the hotel.
Okay.
So that was something that I wish I was able to do. And like, I still wouldn't have been able to connect to the hotel's Wi-Fi, because if you have if the portal does not have an on-device browser, so if you need to agree to certain terms or check off something in a Wi-Fi spot, you can't use it on the portal, but you can always hook it up to your phone, which I think is gonna be what a lot of people will opt to do instead.
Okay.
Unless you still happen to have a internet, like you find one that's open and doesn't need a browser to click something, like that's fine. But yeah, I wasn't too impressed when I was in LA.
Yeah.
At least when I was at LAX about to leave from my flight. I tried it. It was definitely a little choppy. Could be just the service there. We could put
a number of factors.
Yeah, there's a ton of things I can go. And like that's I think the biggest hurdle with this device is that you really gotta be honest with, okay, what are your speeds? How is your internet set up? Is your PS5 hardwired or is it Wi-Fi? Mine right now is on Wi-Fi. I would love for it to be hardwired, but I'm not at my home. This is my parents' home. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was not thrilled with the notion of running 150-foot Ethernet cord across the house. You know what I'm saying? Can't control that. But once I got my own spot and I'm able to hardwire my PS5, I bet it would be better. And like a lot of people are saying that I've seen a lot of people do comparisons of like, okay, if my PS5 is on Wi-Fi or over Ethernet, it's a lot more stable on Ethernet. But I will say it was cool when I was in state near Phoenix, in the Phoenix area. But once I tried it at LAX, it was a little choppy. A little choppy.
Well, thank you for that, because you do, like, especially on Twitter, you see so many people posting like, "Oh, I'm like 100,000 miles away from my PS5 and mine's just working flawlessly," or "I'm on the plane and it's working flawlessly." I'm like, is it though? Like, I don't.
Yeah, the plane thing, I don't.
That's
buy
wild.
It. The plane, I don't buy. The plane, like and I think. Damn, I'm hoping I don't want to get in trouble for this, but I think IGN posted a video of them trying it on the plane and like how it was running. The thing that I think wasn't explicitly stated in that video was that that was
they were on ground. They weren't.
No. I think they were in the air, but it was a different, like, it wasn't a traditional airline. I don't think. Like, I think it was like. Damn, I wish I could go back and look and see what it was. But like, I heard a lot of people say that, like, that wasn't like an average commercial flight. I'm not saying it was like a private jet, but like it was some like stipulation where like if you go on like a Delta flight or like Southwest, like you're not gonna get like that's not happening.
Bro, you got free Wi-Fi. What do you mean? Like,
so I mean, I will come to the defense of the thing, saying that most devices, when it comes to internet connection and you're on a flight, they're not going to run well. Like, even if I have my Switch, if I have a Steam Deck, like the Wi-Fi is going to be pretty weak. And I'd imagine remote connect or remote play or Steam, whatever you want to do, is still going to be just as choppy. Right. You're not really be able to download anything. So I don't want to say because it's the portal, it sucks, but because it's so reliant on the internet connection, we have to, hone down on that. But
100%.
I think people blow like proportion with as far as, oh my God, it's so bad or it's so good. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and like I definitely agree and can see, like, if you are across the world, but you have a really good connection and your PS5 is hooked up to a really good connection, I do believe that could probably be good. I do, like I do think if you have that perfect setup, like I bet it runs smooth. I do believe that, I just don't know if it's on a plane.
Or how consistent,
and how consistent, and like I think it just all depends really on like what is your internet like. Like I do think this device quite literally like lives or dies by the internet connection that it's that not only it's on, but also the PS5 that is at home is on. You know,
You want my honest opinion on the Portal?
what's up, bro? What's up?
I think it is a home handheld to use at your house. I think
That's
it's
fair.
You're on the
That's fair.
couch, you're on your partner or your children, or you're on your TV, you're in
Right.
bed. You want to keep playing your game, you're on bed. I don't think this is something you'd want to take with you all the time because of how, I don't want to say unreliable, but you're tethered to that internet connection, right? So if you wanted to play something like a Switch where you were able to play any game you want, or a different handheld, right? It would suck if like you took this thing as your primary handheld somewhere, and then you're like, I can't really play it right now because my internet's not great, right? Like that's the point of handheld, is like so you can like take it anywhere and you can play anywhere. So
Or there's just no internet, you know, and so you're just
Right.
left with just a
Nothing.
handheld that doesn't work, you know.
right.
Yeah.
Granted, most places
Sure.
have, you know, what you said with the Wi-Fi, or not, sorry, the hotspot. You can tether your phone to the hotspot, but are you always going to get 5G everywhere you go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I think
But-
if you're in a if you're in a modern metropolitan city, you know,
You'll be good.
I bet most times than not, you're probably going to be good.
Okay.
You know,
For sure.
That's fair.
definitely. Right.
Okay.
Then again, I will say I did try it at LAX. Wasn't the best. I was on the tarmac. Maybe that could have been a plethora of things that, you know, could have affected that. Don't want to make excuses for it per se, but that was just my experience. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and like I think ultimately, like, you know, even the way they had that one report where they're wanting to count. I don't know if they're wanting to or this just happens, but they want to count this as like a dedicated like console sale. I'm like, I do not agree, because even if you look on the box for the Portal, it says remote player. Nowhere on there this is a console. I looked up, down, left, right. No, there's nowhere there doesn't say console, and I don't think you should view it as a console. I really don't. Like, I think it's purely an extension of an existing console, your PS5, and it's for what they say is a remote player. Like it's that's exactly what it is. You know,
that's like calling the PSVR 2 a console. It's not
exactly.
It needs to be tethered to your PS5. You need the console to play the thing. So it's it's weird.
And they're grouping it in the sales in the PS5 as well. Is that what they're doing, right? Sony,
are they?
I thought that's what I read somewhere. I thought that's what they were kind of grouping the sales of the Portal with the PS5. Again, kind of making it seem like it is a console in itself, which it really isn't.
This is an accessory, like the
100%.
The same way you count the DualSense Edge. Honestly, that's exactly how I view the
Portal,
PlayStation Portal. Yeah. But like I do think like overall, like this is I think a novel device for sure. I don't know how, and like I think it's weird because like when we have a handheld like the Vita, my beloved the Vita, of course.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Another one. We're able to see how that device is handled by developers, how it's handled by first party from PlayStation and Sony, and like how that device evolves over time. This, like, I don't know if there's going to be, I mean, other than them enabling PS5 streaming on this device, which I think would be huge for it, I'm not really seeing like what the story will evolve into with the Portal, you know? That's kind of my thing.
I think
so it's like,
this is gonna.
You know?
I think this is gonna be. It's a we'll see kind of thing, right? Will this be another extension to say the PS6 or something? Is that something that they're gonna follow through with the next iteration of consoles? Maybe, I don't know. I think they're just kind of playing it safe and just seeing, okay, we're just gonna tether this to the PS5 and see how it works, how it sells, what people's reactions are when it comes to just like a full-blown, you know, internet required you know, handheld. And so I think it's just kind of like an experimental thing, right? I think they're dipping their toes again into the handheld space, but not fully blown, not fully like dedicating themselves to a handheld. You know what I mean?
Just dipping their toes again. Just dipping in there.
Their toes.
But
yeah, go for it, man.
I think the last thing I'll say on this Portal topic, right, is like I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, they should have just made a handheld, like, you know, and my frame of, I'm like, look, whether y'all like it or not, whether y'all like to hear this or not, a lot of y'all out there did not buy the Vita. A lot of you.
Yeah.
Right.
They're the main culprits, right? Like,
a lot of
you, all this shit.
And a lot of y'all are asking for a handheld again, but I didn't see y'all during the Vita. I was there.
I mean,
Day
to be
one,
fair,
I bought the
Y'all
white
were there?
one, the
Oh,
Assassin's
yeah.
Creed. Yeah, man.
Assassin's Creed Liberation, baby, turn up. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Absolutely,
yes.
absolutely. I was there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like at the end of the day, like I just don't. I like it. Like we're ever since the Switch, right? We are past the age, I feel like, of a dedicated handheld game. You know, it's
Does it
not
sound
happening.
familiar?
It's not happening. You know, so unless they make it handheld where you can continue your PlayStation 5 game on the go, right? And use cross saves on PS Plus to be able to move that save back and forth, whatever you got to do. I think that's the only way we get a handheld. Is it has to be that. It's not going to be a dedicated game. Like they're not going to partition off these studios to make handheld games like they tried with the Vita. Like look,
Right.
You know, there's just
that got them right.
It's not going to happen. You know,
it's funny you say that. We literally, I think we spoke about it with Carlos
yeah.
last week.
He's smart. He's smart.
Yeah, and we said the same thing. We're just like the days of a dedicated handheld software, they're done. It's over, right? It's everything is the same now. Everything's the same. So you hit the nail on the head on that one.
Hit the nail on the head. Let's move on to the gaming news here, man. First up, we have Insomniac Games has delayed Spider-Man 2's new game plus mode until next year. This is from Video Games Chronicle. In a message published on social media, the PlayStation Studio said it wanted to spend more time testing the update. This is quotes from Insomniac here. It says, "We have some news about the next game update for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. We know players have been eagerly waiting features such as New Game Plus and audio description, among many others. We've been working vigilantly on these features and require more testing to ensure the quality is up to our standards." So we're looking at an early 2024 release date for this. They're also going to try to include other things too that we didn't really anticipate. I think they're trying to feature a day-night cycle as well, which is pretty cool. So what do you guys think about this news? And are you surprised about this, or what do you guys think?
I'll let you take it. I'll go. Yeah. I welcome it. Like, the number one complaint I had about Spider-Man 2 was when the game was over, there was nothing left to really do. Yeah, you couldn't really do a lot of the side missions. Like, I think some of them were actually cut off. You couldn't really go back into them. This was nice that they're adding more to do after you do the game. Like, I know a lot of PlayStation games like Final Fantasy 16, God of War, Ragnarok, there is a decent amount to do in New Game Plus, especially even like Starfield. Starfield is like ridiculous New Game Plus. So the fact that they're, giving you a reason to go back and play is pretty big. And I like the quality of life changes with the time of day. The tender colors is kind of cool. Like we didn't even know I wanted that, but that's sick. So I like that PlayStation games are doing this thing right now where they want to really enhance and perfect the titles they already have. Kevin?
Yeah. Like I guess a little bit of a bummer for those that were wanting to get in for New Game Plus and stuff like that for sure. Because I think that's really the main thing. And of course, things are important, like audio descriptions. That's very important. That definitely should be there as soon as possible. But I'm more of a mind of like, hey, listen, man. Insomniac has been working overtime in this PS5 gen. You know what I'm saying?
They've been cooking, dude.
They've been cooking, bro. Spider-Man Remastered, Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, and now Spider-Man 2. And we're only 3 years into the gen. Like ridiculous output.
And Wolverine's coming
and
soon.
Wolverine's in the whim. Yeah, like insane output. So I'm cool with letting them boys have a nice happy holidays. You know what I'm saying? Let them chill out for a little bit. But hopefully we get this in around January or February time. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully sooner rather than later. But I'm excited to be able to change the time of day specifically because definitely I want to do some nighttime swings. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
absolutely,
not even that. For photo mode 2 is going to be amazing.
Clean,
black
dude,
suit.
Clean. Yep.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah, man. I think this is fine. I think they again, let them cook, let them do their thing, let them focus on what they need to do. They're not one of the biggest publishers on Sony's side for no reason, right? Like they're like right up, in my opinion, with Naughty Dog. Rest in peace to Factions again. But I just think that their quality has improved so much throughout the years, especially like you said in the PS5 era, that they are one of the big dogs now, right? And so
Right.
they need the time to really hone down on whatever it is that they need to fix or what they need to work on. So let them do that. Early 2024, I think that's fine. I think that's going to be, my guess, January, like you said, February possibly. So we're probably not too far away from this. On another note, though, it looks like Insomniac was hacked in some way, shape, or form, and so there's some leaks, some leaked documents indicating that they are working on yet another project that indicates a potential Spider-Verse game, like a multiplayer Spider-Verse game. And so that's interesting. And I want to hear your thoughts on that as far as where do you think that's going to go? Is this going to be part of Marvel Spider-Man, or is this going to be a completely separate thing? And if so, like, what do you think this looks like?
I was a little confused because there's a particular side quest in Spider-Man
Sure.
2 that may or may
Sure.
not end with a cherry on top. That could may or may not be pointing to a future in the Marvel Spider-Man universe involving Spider-Verse, right? And I kind of always thought that was gonna be the third game.
Yeah.
I would, and like when you think of
Do you think they were hinting at Spider-Man 3? Is that
Yes.
what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I thought, because like when you even think about it like logistically as well, right? And like this is me talking from a game. Again, I'm not a dev, so if there's an easy way for you to write this off, sure, absolutely, I'm willing to hear that. But think of how many different suits they already have designed throughout the course of the first, Miles, and second game. So it's like I always thought, okay, like maybe they've been setting the groundwork this whole time to do an eventual Spider-Verse where they can have a diverse, different set of suits and still add more of course. But they have a lot already established and made, So I was confused to see Spider-Man 3 be a separate thing, as well as the Spider-Verse thing be a separate thing. Maybe it'll be like they'll still deal with Spider-Verse in Spider-Man 3, but maybe in a similar vein of how Ghost of Tsushima Legends was like a side mode within Spider-Man 3. Maybe Spider-Verse is a side mode within Spider-Man 3. Like maybe that might be what they're teeing up here. But I want to pass it on to y'all. Like I don't like when they say multiplayer, are they talking about co-op? Is that what y'all assume? Like I'm struggling to understand where a Spider-Verse multiplayer game is gonna be. Like maybe I haven't thought about it too deeply yet, but I'm not sure how that's gonna work out from like a gameplay, like mission, like objective point. Like what, is it co-op missions? Is that what we're doing? What do y'all think?
What you want to go, Kelv?
Go for it, Rob. I know you're dying to speak with you.
Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so you know how in Spider-Man 2 you got Miles hanging out with you and he's fighting on screen with you, right, and helping you out even at some points. Harry is too, right? Spoilers, sorry. But it's probably just exactly something like that where you're going to be able to jump into the world and you get to pick whatever Spider-Man you want, right? And you're going to be fighting alongside each other, just like Miles was playing with you in the game itself. You and a friend are literally going to be able to beat up on bad guys. That's how I think they're gonna do it 100%. I don't think it's gonna be necessarily like an open world type thing. I think you'll be able to jump because again, it's gonna be New York City, right? Like there might be like maybe the different servers will be different types of New York cities. Maybe they could go that far. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool.
But I hope so. I really hope so.
Right, but it's always gonna be New York City. So I don't think it's gonna go too crazy. I don't know how far you can actually go with this, just because of that parameter that it is set. But you hit the nail on the head with the amount of suits they have. Like that is a ton of assets. They're already animated. They're already like done. You just dump out more. How many suits are in the game? Like 50 more?
I think in Spider-Man 2 is like 7. I think 65, something like that. 65 plus. I think in Spider-Man 2 across both Peter and Miles.
And
something
then
like that.
And I know a lot of the suits from Spider-Man 1 were included in Spider-Man 2, but were all of this, not all of the suits were
no, there were some left out.
Yeah, there's some left out. Yeah.
So I think with so many suits, it's just pick the one you want and then give them a couple of different, voice lines and stuff like that. And
I guess different body types too, I guess. Like you don't want them all looking like Peter's body type and Miles' body type.
Right.
Maybe slightly, because gotta be, Got a
Well,
similar physique to Peter Parker, I assume.
from the leaked documents that was posted on Reddit, it says here, quote, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if Insomniac multiplayer game is a Spider-Verse game where you can create your own Spider-Man or your Spider character, full suit customization, select what powers you want, etc. So I can very well see them. And actually, Kevin, I wanted to jump into your Twitter space. I was like dying to do it, but I was like giving my kid a bath and all that. I was thinking maybe this would be a perfect time for, again, I know Sony's going into that game as a service mode, right? They're going full blown game as a service. Would this be like a game as a service title? Like, is this going to be its own separate thing and just kind of be a full multiplayer game where you have tons of Spider-Men in a universe here? You can create your own, you know, your shirtless Greg Miller Spider-Man. You can do whatever you want and just do what and just kind of do missions with other Spider-Men.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the other
Like,
question. Do we want
yeah,
that?
I
Do
don't
we
know.
need that? Right?
I mean,
like,
look. I think, and like, I don't know why they haven't, but like, guys, like, look at Ghost of Tsushima Legends.
yes.
You know, I'm not saying that everyone was playing that mode. All right. You know, like, I'm not saying it was, but people enjoyed it.
Mhm.
People were very pleased with it. You know, I played through it. I'm sure y'all did as well. And like, I think it's tough because I say, like, I wish they would still feel that, like, hey, just having a multiplayer mode is okay. You know, like, that's dope. Like, even throw some microtransactions if you want, sprinkle them around. Like, I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to be like this lifestyle type of game, right? It doesn't have to be like a Destiny, Apex, Fortnite type of, you know,
it doesn't have to be a continuous game, like a living game, right?
Yeah, we
say that, right? And then we look at the financials of those games.
Oh yeah,
right. And it's like, I can't blame Sony for trying to go for that. I can't blame them.
Exactly.
You know, this is just Rob, I did cut you off. Rob, I'm sorry if you were trying to say something. I did cut you off. My bad.
No, I mean, we back in the day, every game, most of the games that shipped, they had their dedicated single player and multiplayer, right? How come we can't have that happen here, where we have, like you said, our single player and our multiplayer version of the game, and just have them split too, right? It just, like Halo Infinite does it, right? Where you can play multiplayer, you could play single player campaign. You could do whichever one you want. It doesn't need to be this separate, like, beast entity of just like, oh, like this whole, like, just make it an add-on on the Spider-Man 3, right? That Spider-Man 3 multiplayer is the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Oh my God, Birdie says, kind of reminds me of Gotham Knights if they released multiplayer for Spider-Man 3. I see that. I see both perspectives, right? Kevin, I'm like, literally, I say the same thing each time, right? Sony understands that there's major dollar bills to be made with game as a service, right? That's why they're pushing it so much, right? But I also like what they're doing with their DLCs for their first party titles, right? Like, you see, perfect example right now with Valhalla, the way they're able to create a mode and add that as a DLC to continue having players stay in this, you know, inside this world, inside God of War. I think that's the twist, or that's the pivot that they need to do instead of the game as a service. Don't get me wrong, I understand that the money's there, right? But it doesn't seem like it's gonna take off because of how late in the game they are in this, right? Fortnite's established. You have like all the other like game as a service titles I can't think of right now that are all established at this point. Apex. It's like, is Sony too late in the game to like actually make something out of nothing at this point, right? And so if they dive into and they pivot towards these DLCs, these like little story driven, but also giving you more content and more game modes within those story beats, I think that they have something there, because I don't think anyone's really doing that right now. Like, I think this is the year, excuse me, for like DLCs, because I feel like at least in the end of the year, we've gotten so many great DLCs, including Final Fantasy 16, like great DLCs that we didn't really expect to be this good. Like, we expected them to come out and, you know, expect more of what we played, but for it to be this good, we're like, damn, like this is the content that we want, right? It's not just another mode, another little quest that we're doing. This is more meaty content. And I think if they pivot towards that and they give us a little bit more of that with story included, that's probably the best way, right? I think, like you said, Ghost of Tsushima was perfect when they did that, right? They added that multiplayer aspect to it, but it felt contained, and it wasn't this game as a service, continuous content. Like, it just felt like, all right, we made this. Here you guys go, enjoy it, and and that was it. And then I think everyone enjoyed it, got their like their fill off of that, and then we move on, right?
Right. And like, I'm definitely with y'all. Like, I would much prefer a Valhalla type of thing. I would much prefer a Ghost of Tsushima Legends type of thing.
Right.
I'm just thinking, like, at the end of the day, they are trying to do this live service to no longer just get 30% of every $20 skin that's bought on Fortnite.
Mhm.
They want 100% of it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
And I see that. So I think if they can somehow make some multiplayer mode, right off the back of a major first party developed game that they have,
And
if they can figure out the financial aspect of that, and I know that's like boogeyman, we don't, but like, and they, like, that's the reality of this though. They are trying to monetize this. So if they're able to figure out a way where they can create a substantial multiplayer mode that's, in their eyes, properly monetized to make it fiscally
evergreen.
sound, and to make it evergreen, and to add content I don't know if it's like maybe the City That Never Sleeps DLC in the first Spider-Man game, where maybe they like, charge for those different chapters. Like, maybe they could do something like that. Like, it has to somehow match or come close to matching the fiscal model of a live service game without being it per se. And that's tough, man. That's tough. I don't know. That's tough. It's tough. I don't know.
Rob, any final thoughts on that?
I think they just stick to, if they do whatever multiplayer game, just have a higher team and just work on skins. I think skins sell. That's what makes games of the service. You look at League of Legends, right? How do they make their money? Skins. Like that. That's all. Is Fortnite. Where do they make their money? Skins. Rocket League. Like, it's all of this cosmetics that really sell. And I think they're focusing too hard on other things, where it's just like, just come out with a dope multiplayer game and then just make some dope ass skins, because people like looking dope while they play games. Like, they don't have to make it this big complicated thing with games of the service, right? They're trying to make their own Fortnite. They're trying to make their own WoW. They're trying to make an Overwatch, right? They're trying to make this thing their own. And it's just like, no, stick to your IP, make it really well done, get the multiplayer out of the way, and then stick some cool skins and let it take off that way. But they want to, I don't know. I'm not a person on their board, so what am I saying?
I get you. Well, let's move on to E3 being dead, because this one hit as well. This was a sad week. I'm gonna be honest. You know what I mean?
Yes.
E3, the gaming industry former flagship annual event, is officially dead. The organizer, the Entertainment Software Association, has said, after more than 2 decades of hosting an event that has served as central showcase for the U.S. and global video gaming industry, the ESA has decided to end E3. Guys, what do you guys think about this? I mean, this was written on the wall for like 5-6 years at this point. It was slowly dying, and it was just, this was it. This was the nail in the coffin. I'm a little upset about this, mostly because Rob and I just never got to participate in E3, and we've always wanted to. But yeah, this one hurt. This one was like, you remember all the great moments that E3 gave us, right? You remember the Kingdom Hearts 3 re-announcement of that game, and now it's fully in development. You remember the Final Fantasy VII remake trailer. You remember all these amazing moments in gaming history, and they all tie to E3 for the most part, right?
Blame Nintendo. It's their fault.
It's
all their fault. Yeah, I mean, that's all it is, right? It's like, I think we knew this was coming, and it just sucks to see like the actual words be posted. Like, it's not a thing anymore. There have other things that have taken place instead of E3, right? We have the Game Awards now, which is kind of like basically E3 at this point. But I think now, why would you do all the work, compete with everyone else, and have it by this date when you can just control everything now, right? You can have your own stage, you can control how much it's going to be said, you can control everything. So, and you do it the comfort of your own studio, right? You don't have to rent out the big arena and stuff like that. So, as much as this sucks for the consumer, if anything, right? For the for the consoles and the developers, the publishers, it's not really, doesn't really, whatever. But
does it suck for the consumers though? Because so hear me out. E3 was Christmas for gamers, right? That's the one time around June where everyone would get together in the gaming industry and just geek out for a week about games, which was fine. Now, I feel like we just have this evergreen of content coming out throughout the year, every single time. Everybody has their own showcase. You're getting E3, or I'm sorry, you're getting the Game Awards, you're getting Sony's conferences, you're getting Microsoft's, you're getting Nintendo's, you're getting Ubisoft's, you're getting so much throughout the span of a year that we're almost overconsumed with content, right? We're just, instead of like E3 just being the big house of all this content being released, right, with all the big three and all the other publishers just kind of coming in together and just releasing or showcasing their announcements, we have that like kind of spread out throughout the year. So in a way, it kind of benefited us in some aspects, right?
I could definitely see that argument, but with E3, you're dedicated. Like this time is when you're going to do your announcements, right? Like this is when you're going to do it. Whereas how many times have you watched a PlayStation showcase and you've been disappointed? You're like, oh, they didn't show the thing I wanted to show. Where when E3 was shown, there was going to be at least something that you liked or something you were really excited for, because it's basically everything for the whole year, right? So there's been multiple times where I've seen showcases where I've been like, I'm a little disappointed because I didn't exactly see what I wanted. I just don't think it's the same level of hype. Sure. If you combine all the showcases together and you made one mega showcase, right, then it'd be like, okay, maybe. But
well, that's the caveat, right? Where if you see that throughout the year, the hype kind of lessens, right? Whereas for E3, you wait a full year to get that hype, right? You're like, oh man, I can't wait till June because June is E3 and June are gonna bring the hype, and June you're gonna see Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo just bring it in, and like that competition, that like friendly banter of like, oh, who's gonna win E3? That is gone now at this point, right? Because everyone's just throwing left and right their different conferences.
Yeah, there's not really any
for the most part
or anything. No.
Yeah, and for the most part, they're just kind of like, okay, it's good. We got, and for the most part now, they're actually setting expectations. They're like, hey guys, full disclosure, you're not getting anything crazy.
But that, I feel like that's so wrong. Like,
it's good and bad, right? It's like you get a nice discussion. You get a nice the team is actually like giving you this information. Like, hey, by the way, guys, you're not set your expectations. But at the same time, you're like, oh, well, why? All right, I'm not going to like get hyped, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I won't even tune in now because it's like they're not going to show the thing I want. So it's whatever. Yeah.
I have a little different viewpoint where it's like, I think we're going to see, and we have been seeing a bit of a similar time, similar kind of presented in a way, similar treated E3 show in the summer, and that's Summer Game Fest. Like I just think now, like, there is going to be a bit of a vacuum effect towards Summer Game Fest. I won't say all of them, but like I still feel like, PlayStation will probably have their own dedicated thing. I'm sure Xbox will. I'm sure Nintendo will. But like, I'm sure they'll have a few mid-tier announcements to give the Keeley. And I bet a lot of the third parties are now going to kind of fold into Summer Game Fest. As opposed to them trying to do their own little separate mini conferences where, like, y'all remember, I think it was 2019 or 2020 when the summer schedule was just ridiculous, bro. Because everyone was trying to do their own thing.
Oh, and, like, Ubisoft, EA, was all there.
Bro. Yeah. Like, oh my. If y'all were making content back then, like, y'all know, like, that was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just think like there's gonna be a bit of a vacuum effect towards Summer Game Fest personally. I won't say all the conferences, but definitely I think the majority, I think we're going to see an overall focus on probably Summer Game Fest in the first half of the summer, and then to end off the summer going in the fall, you have Gamescom, Opening Night Live, So
damn,
and then you
Jeff
have the
Keighley
Game Awards at the end.
A little monopoly on these.
he has all the Infinity Stones now, man.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
is it. He got
This is his show. We're just running it.
Yeah.
We're just living in it. You know what I mean?
I do wish Opening Night Live was just a little bit further past Summer Game Fest. I feel like they kind of step on each other's toes. I don't know where you would put that other show or like what the reasoning would be, you know? Or honestly, I mean, to a certain extent, I mean, maybe, no, you can't get rid of Gamescom because there's.
I was just gonna say,
Gamescom's
I
a big
feel like
show. Yeah, no, you can't.
they're both
you can't get rid of
big, but Summer Game Fest, or I don't know. I think there's just too many. Like the big three, right? If you can just maybe have 2 a year, like 2 major ones,
2 a year would be ideal.
I think that'd be ideal. One in the beginning
Summer,
of the year,
winter.
and then one at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
sure. It's just tough because like he's not gonna get rid of Opening Night Live.
no, he's not.
No.
You can't. It's Gamescom. Yeah, no, you can't. You can't. That's I think per capita and like overall attendance. Like I'm pretty sure that's the biggest games event in the world. I think.
Really?
Is that wrong? I think
don't
that's
know.
right.
I wouldn't know. That's crazy if it is though.
That could be cap.
I would think.
I
would think like the Game Awards would be like the you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, like overall like attendance, like even like people like come like Game Awards isn't like a convention type of thing.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Like,
is
but like,
yeah.
are we talking viewers as well, or like?
I mean,
attendees.
I was thinking physical.
Okay,
I was thinking physical attendees, but
I gotcha. Okay,
from a viewer standpoint, yeah, it's probably either Game Awards or
yeah. Interesting. We shall see how things work. Let's move on to one of the last, second to last.
RIP
E3. Yes,
I never got to go. Childhood dream.
Speaking of RIP, the devs behind the controversial shooter The Day Before shuts down days after massive Steam launch. Wild times, dude. Like, this is a wild week. Let me just say how insane this week is when it comes to it's just a weird time. The drama-filled saga behind one of the Steam's most anticipated games of 2023 just took its weirdest turn. Yeah, this is from Kotaku. The day before, maker Fantastic announced it will cease operations less than a week after accusations of swindling players with a massive bait and switch when it came to the true nature of its The Last of Us looking survival game. Quote, today we announced the closure of Fantastic Studios, began a statement tweeted by the studio on December 11th. Unfortunately, the day before has failed financially and we lack the funds to continue. All income received is being used to pay off debts to our partners.
Wild.
I'm sure, Kevin, you've been keeping up with this. What do you think? What's going on here? Like, why?
I have a bit of echoes to another lost game called Abandoned. So I don't know if y'all remember that.
Oh yes, I was just telling Rob. I'm like,
oh yeah, Abandoned. Yeah,
you remember what's going on with this game?
Yeah,
like,
I mean that game isn't out. / I don't know if it will come out. I don't know the status of that game. So. But this is just odd because like Nvidia had like software and like GPU showcases with this game. That's why I'm very
it's
like
weird.
confused of like that's why like it just reminds me it reminds me so much of Abandoned because like Abandoned got a dedicated PlayStation blog post. Which is like what?
Random like, too. I didn't
no one just gets that.
Right.
No one like that does not just happen, guys. Like, so I would have to assume that you don't get an Nvidia sponsored like look at your game running their software, running their GPU on their channel. Like it is very interesting. People are calling it a scam. I mean, I suppose. I mean, I don't know.
If you purchase this game and then days later, if you purchase this game expecting this to be a full blown like content,
right?
And then days later, they're like, guys, we're dipping out. Like, sorry. You just got scammed. Like you're just like, oh shit. It's like going to the kiosk at the mall and then returning and then coming back the next day and they're just gone. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah. And like, I don't mean to say that they're wrong in thinking that. I was just saying like, was that the intent of the developers?
Right.
Was that the intent of the head of the, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my thing, right? Like, are we to believe them when they say like, oh, we just ran out of money and like we,
maybe they just kind of, I guess, right? Yeah, it could be that. But if you think about it, like back in the day when you went to go buy a game at the GameStop, right? And you bought the game and the game sucked. You were just like, this game sucks. Like, it was just bad. Like, what happened? You couldn't return the game. You were just stuck with the game. There was games back in the day where they were like 2, 3s, 4s. Like, you couldn't do anything about it. So now that we live in an age where if there's a bad game, like, it is amplified like crazy. And you scammed me because it's a bad game. So basically, we live in an age where you can't have a bad game anymore at all. So I don't know. I don't know if it is a bait and
Steam
switch.
removed it from like the Steam store. So
that tells me that is 100% a bait and switch. Like, if they are like, this is not just bad, this is just unethical, then it's 100% a scam. 100%.
And I didn't buy it, obviously, but like I heard reports that like there were a lot of people that were proving that like this is just an asset flip. Like, there's a ton of assets here on that like Steam like marketplace where you can buy assets for your game and stuff like that. A lot of people were like showing proof like, like this is just an asset flip. I think what really kind of nailed the head on this whole thing for me personally is when I saw, I'm not sure if, I assume this person was a developer of some sort, but like I don't know if he was like the head of the studio or social media PR person, I'm not sure, but someone on the team basically said, oh, shit happens.
Yeah,
and it's like,
what an answer.
How can you say that? Like,
that's such a good answer.
So it just makes everything look bad on their end, right? It's like, I don't know. And then on top of that, they changed their name. Like, they changed their studio name. That's sketchy, right? To like 8 something. I forget what it is. I'm like, all right, something like that.
Something, something like that. Yeah, that's also ridiculous. Yeah,
all sketchy shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's gonna happen. Sorry for those that purchased this, and I mean, hopefully you get your money back. They are refunding money from what they say, but then they also say that all the money they received are going to purchase or paying off their buyers or whatnot. So I don't know what's going on there, but sucks, man. It just sucks. Let's move on to the last topic here, and that's what we already dived into, which is The Last of Us Online. No longer coming out for no longer with us. Thank you. The Last of Us Online is dead. Again, this is from Kotaku. Naughty Dog announced today that the multiplayer spinoff of the hit series is no longer in development, citing concerns about managing ongoing content for a live service game while still trying to produce the single-player blockbuster the PlayStation Studio is famous for. Quote, we realize many of you have been anticipating news around the project that we've been calling The Last of Us Online. Quote, Naughty Dog wrote on December 14th, which is today, there's no easy way to say this. We've made the incredibly difficult decision to stop development on that game. Pour one out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cheers,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry for your loss. I wish I was more butthurt about this, but I prepared my cold heart prior to this, so it wouldn't affect me where I'm going through what you guys are going through. So, yeah, I mean,
it's tough because going back to what we were talking about like game as a service, like if there was any game that Sony was gonna release, it would have been this one that would have hit.
I said that on the Spaces, bro. I said the exact same thing, bro.
Exactly
the exact same thing. And now I'm like, okay, like the only one I see that's been rumored, not officially confirmed, but rumored to be of a similar caliber that I see right now. Not even Spiderman, I don't think, but I'm thinking the Horizon Monsters Hunter-esque type of co-op thing.
Well, we haven't seen anything of it though, right? Like,
but
there's
like
nothing.
You're right. Like it's not even confirmed, but like when I think about getting 3 of my friends, four players were in a hunt.
It's a Monster Horizon Hunter universe. World, in a sense,
like
right?
I can see the appeal of that, like someone having the trapper, someone, like I can see us coordinating to take off certain elements of a particular machine in the wild. Like I can see that being fun and see that really have legs. But this was supposed to be the one, not like the one like, oh my god, like
not like Fortnite numbers, but it's
but
it was gonna be, I think, successful.
Cool.
Especially with everything that Naughty Dog has been doing with the brand, right? We have the movie, we have the show, we have the 15th Last of Us remaster at this point. Like they're just pushing this IP so much that I just feel like this would have been it, man. Especially how well received Factions was back in the day. People are still playing that game. There's still a fan base there, and to improve on the things that you've learned from Factions and bring it onto this space now in PS5 in 2023 and like really hone down on the multiplayer aspect, because I feel like this was kind of more like Factions, in my opinion, was kind of like an experimental thing, just similar to like Uncharted 2 multiplayer, right? They were just kind of like tacked on sort of thing, and it worked, and it was pretty good. But this, if they really honed down on this and they added this whole game as a service content thing that they wanted to do, it would have been gold, in my opinion. I think if they did it right, it would have been really good.
Yeah. I honestly think PlayStation needs to go back to basics when it comes to multiplayer. If you think about it, like we look at I look at the PS3. I feel like when the PS3 came out and we had games like The Last of Us that had the multiplayer, we had Resistance: Fall of Man that had great multiplayer, Killzone that had decent multiplayer. Like I want to see games like that pop out again, including with their multiplayer, right? Like right now, Sony's just focusing on that single player experience, and I'm like, no, I want the halvesies again. Or, like I said, what was that game you played? Warhawk. Warhawk was like the multiplayer experience.
My God,
they're trying too hard to create it as a games as a service. You know what I mean? And granted, Warhawk didn't successfully. It wasn't successful enough to where it continued on. I think it was Starhawk was the next one, right? That came out.
Yes.
Yeah, and it wasn't as good. But they only charged, what was it, $30 for Warhawk?
Yeah, it was.
Right?
It was just an online game. It didn't have any
That's
story or anything. It was just online multiplayer. What a game!
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they need to go back to basics when it comes to this stuff. If they want to start doing the multiplayer stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well,
let's move on. Not a news story per se, but let's move on to our PlayStation wrap-ups and Xbox wrap-ups of the year. I don't know if you guys have yours right in front of you. I'm gonna pull mine up if I can. But mine's is very depressing, and I really want to hear what Rob and Kevin have on their PlayStation wrap-up. I'm sure I don't have anything on my Xbox, because I'm not really gaming on my Xbox that much. But
I want an Xbox. Yeah, no.
Do you want to do Xbox first, or you guys gonna do PS first?
No, go ahead.
I gotta pull mine up.
Xbox first.
I don't have to log in. But if you guys don't know what the wrap up is you can go on PlayStation and Xbox. We'll have the site linked. You go there and you can look up what you played basically throughout the year. It's kind of like the Spotify wrap up thing.
Basically,
for games.
it's basically what that is.
You can see how much of your time that you wasted playing video games, or how much of your time you did enjoy playing video games. Like Kelvin. Kelvin said he didn't play enough.
I did not play enough.
I just feel like my numbers look weak this year.
Oh,
You know?
mine's are
They look weak.
terrible, dude.
Like they're
terrible,
okay,
dude.
but they look kind of weak. I know.
To be fair, we had so many different titles come out. This was such a crazy year, so your numbers are probably spread out between a lot of platforms.
For sure.
Even the hours spent though, I'm like, that's it. I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
no,
It's
I
kinda
agree.
low
I
to
agree.
me. It's
I will
kinda low.
say, full disclosure, I did play a decent amount on Game Pass stuff. Like I did play like Liza P on Game Pass. I did play other games on Game Pass that I can't remember right now. So, like you said, Rob, it has been spread throughout like different types of.
Yeah.
I use my ally a lot. So, yeah. So for my, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. Sorry.
I'm just gonna start off my 2023 wrap up here for PlayStation. I've only played 7 games in 2023.
Holy shit!
What are your 7 games, Kelvin?
This is a shit though. This is a shit. PlayStation, they don't care. They they try to give you that ego boost. You know what I mean? It says you weren't afraid to try new things, and it all started with a quest. Yeah. So I started, my first game was Fortnite. For some reason, I don't know. I think I just wanted to try out Fortnite on my PS5. But my top 5 games, right? Ready for this? This is pretty weak. Final Fantasy 16, go. Obviously, right?
Fire.
I spent 56 hours on that game, so that's pretty decent, at least for me, at least. Spiderman 2 was number 2, and then Resident Evil 4 was number 3. Now this is where it goes downhill, right? I have Hitman World of Assassination, which I didn't play that much of it, so for it to be on my top 5 list is pretty depressing. And then my top 5, my number 5 here is Hogwarts Legacy. Rob, you know how much I played Hogwarts Legacy. I barely played that game. I played like 4 hours,
maybe a day,
and it's on my top 5. So I'm doing something wrong with my life.
Yeah, mine is not much different from yours. I'll be honest. It's number 1, Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man 2, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, and Fortnite. Right? Do you know what my first game I played of the year was? I think it's a funny one.
What's up?
Power Rangers Battle for the Grid was my
okay.
Turn
up.
Game.
Okay,
I see you.
So fucking Green Ranger for life.
Kevin, you got yours?
Yeah, you got yours. What
Yeah.
was your?
Let me see. My first game I played this year, Call of Duty.
Hey,
Okay. I'll
Okay.
take it. It's fine. I'll take
Just
it. I'll take it.
Warzone, just straight Warzone, or just the
No,
multiplayer?
I'm not Warzone, but no,
Okay.
I'm an OG classic multiplayer.
Yeah, you can't
player.
beat that.
Yes,
Just like
sir.
comfort
Yes, sir. I'm
food.
back
You
in this,
can,
sir.
yeah.
It's comfort.
I
It's comfort.
prefer the
It's comfort.
Warzone, but I get it, man. I get
I
it.
hear
You know
you.
what
I
I
hear
mean?
you. My brother is a Warzone player, but like I can't. I'm classic. Give me Dom. Give me TDM. Give me Coco Front. Like that's where I'm at. My top 5 games of 2023, 5 I spent 61 hours in there.
Okay. There you go.
Spider-Man 2, 35
Hey.
hours in there. Kind of shocked by that, honestly. Can't lie. Kind of shocked. Number 3, Star Wars Jedi Survivor at 33 hours.
Okay.
And then the Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 2.5
Let's
remix.
go.
Because
for you.
I am on unlocking Kingdom Hearts, so we're going through
Yes.
the whole Kingdom
Series.
Hearts series and such.
Yeah.
So that was at 30 hours. And then to tie it up at 30 hours as well, which this one doesn't compute, but Spider-Man Remastered. Nah. I did play it again this year, but I did not spend 30 hours in that game.
You're lying,
know,
PlayStation.
Like, yeah, I don't know if that's accounting. I don't even know what that's counting because, like, I know I did not spend 30 hours in there. And I didn't play it when it came out in 2020. I intentionally saved it to play it on the lead up to Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where they're getting that number from. Wholeheartedly, I have no idea how they got 30 hours for that game. But
Weird.
no way I did that. No way. No way.
Yeah. This was an eye opener for me because I'm a huge PlayStation fan, right? Obviously, I talk about it all the time here on the podcast. Clearly not, actually, right? Clearly, the writing's on the wall. I've already put in 114 hours on my PS5.
I forgot a stat.
What's that?
What was that?
I played 35 games in 2023.
Jesus Christ!
That's
See, that's good. That's normal. I would say that's
some
normal.
rookie numbers, bro. But like, what are we, man? I feel like I'm slipping, guys.
I have 11.
Man,
I have 11.
7, bro. So
I know, but I like at
I
least
wish I can see
have
my
kids. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure,
okay, like
sure.
I can understand that. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I can see 2022, maybe even 2021 numbers. Like, I just want to see.
was going crazy.
No, I was going nuts at one point, dude. I was going absolutely nuts.
I know.
Wait, how many hours you got? How many hours did you say you were on?
For me?
PlayStation? For both of you, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go back to it.
I have 393.
Yep.
Which that's the number I thought was like low. You have how much, Kelvin? I'm sorry.
114. That's pathetic.
Okay.
Like,
Kelvin, makes you feel better. I have 129, so not much more.
Wow.
Than you.
Yeah, but you game mostly on PC. Like, you're more PC
I see.
dominant. Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, unless it's like one of the resolutions for me and Kelvin is that we're gonna play more on our console for next year.
I'm gonna do my Nintendo wrap up too because I know I play like a lot of games on Switch.
Yeah, dude, go for it, man. While you get that up, we because of that, right? Because of these rookie pathetic numbers that we pulled up this year, we immediately bought Alan Wake 2. Because like we've been holding off on that game, and we're like, yeah, we want this game, but we're like, you know what, this is pathetic. Like, so we bought it on PS5. We haven't tried it yet, but we're on, we're playing Valhalla right now, and we're still on the Final Fantasy wave, and yeah, Alan Wake 2. So those numbers are gonna go up, but it's just pathetic. We're hosting a gaming podcast, for God's sakes, Rob. Like, we need to get these numbers up. You know what I mean?
We do need to change it up and get those numbers up for sure. My Microsoft one is being a little wonky right now. Let's see if it'll work.
Did you do your Nintendo one? Did you even look at yours?
I didn't look at my Nintendo one because I didn't think it's gonna show.
It's gonna say you suck. It's like, don't even look.
Well, it's gonna show Tears of the Kingdom. That's what's gonna show.
I know for me it's gonna show Sea of Stars. Probably
Sea of Stars. I played on Xbox
because I played that. I played that on Switch.
I played that on Xbox. So yeah, it's been an eye opener for sure. I feel like this week has been a punch in the gut. Right?
Yeah, Kelvin was pissed. He was just like, "Are you kidding me? I'm revolted with myself that I
the cherry on top was The Last of Us, right? That dying on us. My PS 5 numbers looking week. Like it's just been like E3 dying. Like what kind of week is this? You know what I mean? This is not.
Well,
this is not.
well, listen, you got Final Fantasy Rebirth coming in February, so don't
let's
fret.
fucking
You're
go.
gonna
Let's
be
fucking go.
really, really in there, and then
Persona 3 Reloaded.
But are you gonna play on an Xbox? Or are you gonna play on your PlayStation? It's free on Game Pass.
I feel like everything has to be moved, but I feel like everything has to be pushed now to PS5. You know what I mean? Because these numbers are pathetic. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. However I'm feeling, but you make a great point. Game Pass, it's free.
My Switch numbers are pretty low, but I'll take it. I understand where it's coming from. So I played 10 games for a total of 73 hours.
Okay.
Right.
Hey man.
Over half of those hours, 42 of those hours, 42 out of 73 hours were in Sea of Stars. And then we did 13 in Mario Bros. Wonder, and then 4 in Inside, which is a great game. Inside was great.
That little game, Sea of Stars, right?
Fire.
That little game, fire. But I thought it was going to be a short game.
Yes, dude.
I
was like, okay, this is going to be quick. Dude, it took me forever.
50 hours later, it's we're done with it.
Fire.
Yeah, so
great game though, yeah. So I got something a little bit on the Switch, but of course I'm main PlayStation, of course, my main bag. But
yeah, I just pulled up my Nintendo numbers here. My first game of 2023, no surprise here, was Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, of course.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. Go of the I played a total of 8 games with 104 hours. So not too far off from you. And I played a decent amount of variety here. Like I Smash Brothers, I played Disney's Illusion Island, I played Neon White, I played Ruin King, I played Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Mega Man, Battle Network, Metroid Prime. I did pretty good, I feel like, on the Nintendo side of things. So
I played
62 hours of Tears of the Kingdom. I'll leave it at that.
4.58% of my game time was on PSVR 2 at 7 games.
Okay.
Cool. I'll say my favorite VR2 game, Synapse. That shit was fire. Highly recommend it.
About that game,
dude. Synapse is so fucking good, bro. So good. Wow, I love that game.
Fuck.
What happened, Rob? What's up?
I'm looking at my Nintendo and I'm like, I put way more hours into Switch than I did PlayStation.
What?
I believe that.
Yeah.
Wow.
On my Switch, 218 hours compared to the 100.
Because Tears came out, dude. That's why.
Yeah, I was a fuck.
You were a nut when
Tears of the Kingdom.
You know how many hours of Tears of the Kingdom?
How much?
111 hours. In Tears
over
of
half.
The Kingdom.
Yeah,
over half of it's Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's move on to our last segment here, in-game chat, where we talk about the Game Awards.
Let's do it.
Kevin, I know you had the opportunity to go to the Game Awards, and we just want to hear. I'm sorry, you didn't go?
I wasn't at the actual award show.
Oh, okay.
I was at the
did you go to like the after party or something?
Yeah, then I went to the after party. Yeah, which a lot of people will tell you, yo, don't stress if you can't get into the Game Awards and go to the actual ceremony. But as long as you're at the JW afterwards, everyone comes there after. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big old meet and greet. It's fun. It's good times. But
you got to talk to people that went to the Game Awards, right? And you socialized and you got the inside scoop of what they felt like and what they thought about it. So we want to hear just everyone all around their thoughts about it, because we haven't really had a chance to talk about the Game Awards since the day it happened. So Kevin, what were your thoughts about it first off, and then what were your thoughts about just being kind of like in that zeitgeist and that ethos,
yeah overall, like I did get a chance to watch it back this week, just by myself, just watch it purely because when you're working, I'm not really paying attention to every trailer that is shown, like, at all. Like I'm
right.
So I'm not paying attention fully, so I did watch it back. From a game's point of view, like, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was anything crazy. I didn't think like any of the announcements were like really wild. Obviously I popped off for God of War. Obviously, I popped off for FF16 DLC, of course, and I do have a list of games that I'm very much interested in that are all new as far as they're all new looks that I have here. You know, a decent list of new games I saw. So like overall, like I think from a games point of view, wasn't the best year by any means, but I didn't think it was like a bad showing of games per se.
No.
I think the biggest problem with this Game Awards was most definitely the time limits that they had on
Pacing
speeches.
and
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was
I think
weird.
that, and like to be absolutely fair, Jeff already addressed it. He already put out
Yes.
a tweet
He
the next
true.
morning saying, "Yo,
My
that's something
bad.
that we're going to address moving forward,
Yeah.
etc." But I thought that was incredibly just like, dude, like what the fuck? Are we doing?
Especially when there's people that are giving a speech about, you know, someone that passed away during the development of their title of their
Can
game
you let
with
that man
cancer.
speak?
Like
Exactly.
let the
I'm like,
guy talk and
Yeah.
let him talk. Let him talk his shit. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. It's a Game Award show. There's time constraints. There's things that need to continue moving on. But the 30 seconds, man, that needs to be addressed. And he said he will. So that's great. But 45 seconds, a minute, you know, I think a minute for each nominee shouldn't be that bad, right?
How old is the Game Awards at this point?
10,
Right.
9 years.
About to
I
be
think
10 years
next year's
next
gonna be
year.
10 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's been around for quite a long time already, but I feel like as far as it being big, it's been, I want to say the last big one was in 2018, 2019 is when it got like started getting really, really big. Whenever Joker got announced on Smash, I think that like for me that was like the biggest
Okay.
one, right? That like that's when it
Sure,
started
sure.
getting really big. But it was, and I think someone posted this on X. It was 100% a knee-jerk reaction to Chris Judge from last year. It was, if I'm telling you, if Chris Judge did not have that long of a speech, I think this would not have been a problem at all. I think it would have been
for
normal.
sure.
But he was just like, that's not happening again under my watch. Strict 30 seconds. That's it. We're not doing this again. And he kind of obviously he didn't think about it as far as like, it might not be enough time. So it's 100% knee jerk. And again, he says he's gonna fix it. So we can't be that mad for it. Immediately he's like, I'm gonna fix it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like definitely like I can not sympathize because I'm not in that position, but like I can see like, okay, 8 minutes is ridiculous. I think we can all agree with that, right?
It was really 8 minutes long.
Yeah,
It was 8 minutes long. It was the longest speech.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So like 8 minutes, okay, like that's obviously excessive, but 30 seconds is obviously excessive in the other direction. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think we gotta
completely different.
It was too much. It was
you
went too much. Yeah, you went too much.
I think a lot can be accomplished in a minute 30.
Yeah.
I think a lot can be done in a minute 30. A lot.
Okay.
A lot. You know, I would say that is, I think, 90 seconds. I think that's where it should probably be at. But to the same tone as well, like I see what Jeff Keighley has to do with these awards, right? Like people are like, I think there's been a commentary over the past week, and I gotta agree, where it's like, the Game Awards is not equal to the Oscars.
No.
Yeah, the Oscars. Yep.
It's not equal to the Emmys. It's not equal to, it is equal to the MTV Awards.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a very good comparison. Yeah. They're yeah.
You're right. So like, and we have things that are like the Oscars, and it's called Dice. It's called
Dice.
So I'm not saying like we shouldn't address the speech thing. We absolutely should, but also to the same tone, like the Game Awards is just a different, like it's not trying to be the Oscars. It's trying to be the MTV Video Awards, like
I think it's a mix between trying to be this E3 that I think Jeff has taken because he worked, during the E3 time, and he worked during the MTV time, and he's getting all that he's learned, that knowledge and experience, and he's trying to combine that, and obviously he has a passion and a love for the gaming industry.
Absolutely.
He's trying to build something that can live together in a sense, right? He doesn't want there to be three different three different spaces for gamers or for the industry, right? So like we have Dice, right? What's the other one that's also similar to
Yeah,
Dice?
there's
I forget
another
the name
one.
of it right now.
God damn it, not
I had it,
joystick
but
awards.
no.
You're
Can't
saying
remember.
Game Award.
Yeah,
It's a
there's
Game Awards
Dice, and
show.
there's
It's
another one.
mostly for devs. Oh my gosh.
Not
But
the
yeah,
the
so
joystick. Wait, I got it.
no.
Not joystick.
Starts with
BAM,
G, I think.
BAFTA. BAFTA, is that it?
BAFTA. That's not what I'm
I
thinking
mean,
about. But
yeah,
regardless,
yeah.
um,
I don't want to talk about it.
it's
Okay.
it's he's just trying to mesh them into one thing, and I get it. There's time constraints. There's things that need to be done, but in all honesty, majority of the people watching are there for the hype moments, for the trailers,
Absolutely.
Oh
right?
yeah. It's not for the award.
You know what I
If it
mean?
was just
So
awards, people wouldn't tune in as much.
people wouldn't tune in, and I think that's something that people have to understand. I totally get, if you're a developer and you want something, you need to get your shine. You need to get like your moment, because and that's another thing too, where a lot of the nominees were addressed like in like 2 seconds, right? They were just like
Yes, bro.
kind of
I
like
didn't. Yeah,
throwing
that
them
was.
out there, and
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, well, if they're here for an award and they rightfully so, they won this award, they should have their moment to shine and to talk about it and to be known, right? And
Right.
so that was kind of like off-putting a little bit, but I get it. It's a Game Awards show, but at the same time, it's really for everyone watching that wants these hype moments, and to blend those two together, it's tough. And so, to your point, Kevin, having a minute and a half, I can see that happening. I was thinking a minute or so,
I
but
mean,
a minute and a half,
that's cool.
I think that can address, a lot of that issue there. It's just now you're going to start dealing with pacing, right? How do you pace the 3.5 hour long show to have, a minute and a half speeches with also trailers,
Right.
with also, those little commercial breaks? Like that's going to be the hardest part, and I think he still struggles with that, right? When it comes to pacing, I think he's done a great job and improved every year. Like this year was probably the best when it came to sponsors. There were less of it, and at least more spaced out in a sense. So he just has a lot of work to do when it comes to spacing and understanding what hits better than the other.
I'll say two things about it. So the Oscars, 45 seconds. So I think he's trying to hit, like, look at that, right? So I think minute 45 seconds. I think 45 seconds is too low too. I think a minute 30 is a sweet spot.
Right.
But I would like to see for the Game Awards of more the games that are shown, it be more curated. I think it was kind of like just like anybody who has like a game for the most part that wants to show a game could go, and it was just like right. It was just trailer after trailer, trailer. Like, don't worry, it's awesome, but I would trade to see some of those games, to see some of those developers win those awards and like, actually talk about, games of impact and kind of stuff like that. Like that would be really cool. Like I said, I don't need to see I don't think every single game that was shown there needed really to be there. I know that might
Right.
sound a little harsh to those developers that worked on that at those games, but kind of more curate what announcements you're going to show versus it being just like rapid fire.
Right.
I think that was something that, I feel like E3 wasn't even like that, right? E3 was very like, here's a person talking about a project, or here's numbers that they're talking about with Xbox and all the consoles and stuff like that. And then they start going, all right, here's the new trailer, here we are. This was just kind of it felt very markety, very, very like pushed in your face. But I just fixed those two things. I think we're all right.
Yeah. I just feel also too like funny that you bring up Hideo Kojima, right? Because this man had a crazy walk in, and like
he had the center stage, man. He had like 6-7 minutes
homies
of like
with
Keelys. And it's like, I understand that y'all are homies, and like I'm not saying that that's inherently a bad thing. It just looks worse when you have people that are being cut off by music when they're talking about,
their friend dying of
developer that that died of cancer, and like, it's like, okay, like we get it. It just looks worse next to those things.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what's that actor's name? The one that had the broken leg. Yeah.
No. Simu Liu.
Yeah.
I feel like he had more time on stage than most of the.
Oh, he was like
No.
making those weird
He was
jokes.
talking
and
about
it was,
something. Yeah,
and
and
I'm
I'm
just
like,
all right, come on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those were definitely things to work on. But overall, I think the Game Awards, as far as content goes, was great. I think they did a great job. Those just like thrown in moments, like the shadow drops that they did were fantastic,
Oh
right?
yeah, those
Shadow
always
drops.
are always welcomed.
Really good.
I
I'll take a
love
shadow
that
drop
part,
any day.
especially just announcing what's that game called?
The
Oh my
finals.
god. The finals. Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah,
just
yeah.
shadow dropping that. I'm like, I haven't even
I think
touched that
did I
yet,
download
but
that? I think I downloaded it.
Dude,
but I'm like, oh man, that's awesome.
Dude, FF16 DLC dropping that night too was crazy.
Yeah,
I know
that was
not
wild.
I know not the same night, but Valhalla being less than a
Yes,
week.
A couple days later,
wild.
Yeah, a
like
couple days later, like that's great as well. Like I know
That's an
that's
announcement.
not
That's an
that's
announcement.
hell yeah.
and even just
And that one
again
got the
going
room
back to
going. That one got the room
yeah,
going.
dude.
I like that.
And that was early on, but still, and even again going back to Kojima, like just having his project, announced and just getting like knowing what OD is and a little bit more information on that. That's great. Monster Hunter being the end cap of the whole show. I mean, people popped off for that. There was great announcements in this, and I think they did a great job with just pacing that. It's just when the bulk or the name of the show is the Game Awards, you
Right.
kind of have to show that more so at the forefront. I feel like unless that's not what you're trying to do, and I think that's not what he's really trying to do per se.
Right.
He's trying to blend those two together. He's just having a difficult time trying to do that.
Yeah.
But Kevin, real quick, what was your experience like in the after party? Like, how was that? Like, who did you meet? I saw you posted a picture of a Blessing. Shout out to Blessing there. That's pretty dope.
That's cool.
So, what was it like?
Man, no, it was unreal, and like the night before was even crazier. So going into this, I have never been to any game event ever in my life. 25.
Okay.
25, never been to no E3. I would kill to go to PlayStation Experience back when they were doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like
man.
never been to anything.
Real quick, how long have you been working at IGN?
For just over a year. So since last October 2022.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
I've been making content since like I was like 15 maybe.
Wow.
So about like a decade now. So the first night was crazy because I ended up at the Giant Bomb GameSpot like live party thing. I ended up
Blessing
there.
was hosting or something too.
No, so that was on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
That was on Saturday.
Okay.
Like the GameSpot offices had like a little just like industry party type thing where you needed like credentials, whatever. My boy Cam, he
hooked you up.
did some finessing and I was able to get it. But that was the craziest one. Cause like I'm seeing Lucy James, I'm seeing Kurt and Davina, I'm seeing fucking like hella people that like Tam. Yeah. I'm seeing like hella people that like,
that you
I, like,
that you follow,
like,
you look up to. Yeah.
I was freaking out. Wild. I was like, damn. And then fellas, like I start to loosen up, get a couple drinks to me. I'm saying hi to people. I say, all right, cool, bet, cool. You know what I'm saying? Sam Lake walks in. Sam Lake, and the actor that plays Alan Wake, I forget.
They just casually showed up, or was that like
they pull up to the set, bro?
Interesting. Okay,
that's so cool.
And then I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like this shit was crazy. And then
yeah, so
that's dope. That was a crazy first night. Going in the Game Awards.
That's so cool.
The vibe when I got there, right? Was
and this was post. Sorry, and this was post his performance, right? At the Game Awards, or
so when I saw him at that party at the GameSpot, that was the night before Game Awards.
I see.
So that was on Wednesday.
That was a Wednesday.
So he was already in town. Yeah. So Thursday night after the Game Awards, everything. I saw Sam at the JW. He was maybe there after like 2 hours. Like he was there kind of late. He was there like later into the night. Because I know like there's other like if you're big in the industry, there's like a private, as far as I'm understanding it, like a private after party thing
Yep.
for those people, right?
Mhm.
That like is mad, like yo, like you got to be invited to that. Like you
Connections there, yep.
you like had to have literally spoke at Game Awards, like been on stage,
Yeah, more
like
for the
that.
nominees or
Yeah,
like
yeah, for the nominees, yeah. So there was that obviously I didn't get into, but those people funneled into the JW, the like main
Oh, eventually, okay.
eventually over the night. So that's when Sam came like later on. Sam like, but no, like it was really great to meet everyone, and like I met a lot of people that I even work with at IGN. Akeem, I met Ryan McCaffrey, which is really great to me because
Wow,
I
that's
cool.
because I work with him a lot, like
yeah.
with different assets and stuff like that. So that was cool to meet him for the first time and everything. But the overall like vibe, at least at the JW, was a lot of people were pleased about the games that were shown and everything. Like that was good, but a lot of people were talking about those speeches. A lot of people were talking about some particular world events that they wish were brought up at Game Awards as well, that they felt like wasn't even from a world global standpoint, but also the industry as a whole with all the layoffs and stuff like that. Like I feel like
That should have
they
been tackled. Yeah.
I agree. I which we don't have to get into this, right? Like I can at the bare minimum, whether I agree or disagree, see a reason as to not bring up the world stuff at the Game Awards. I'm not saying here or there. I'm just saying that I can see why the case would be for not to bring that up at the Game Awards, right?
Right.
The layoffs, I don't know how you
dodge that.
I don't know how you dodge that. That one, I don't know how you dodge.
Even just it doesn't even have to be a speech, man. It could just simply be like a little thing.
Yeah.
Simply like how we acknowledged the whole situation back in the day with Kojima
Literally.
and Konami, right?
Literally.
Like that would have been fine,
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm sure these are things that are put into place months in advance, and I don't know if that would affect anything as far as time constrictions. I have no idea, but I think it could have been done, and not sure as to why. I would love to be a fly on the wall because I'm sure they had to have had conversations of like what to do, how to address it, if that,
Keely's probably no, don't do it. Don't do it. He probably
Interesting
already
stuff, man.
he also probably had such he already had everything kind of set up already, and then there was like more and more happening at that time and stuff like that. So it's probably like it's a tough thing to tackle. Like we take a moment of silence, or just a speech from him would have been nice, right? Just to say like we acknowledge everyone who's been laid off. But
let's celebrate.
Yeah, exactly. Like
something,
something like that, and we appreciate your contributions. So, just something to give us again a minute speech, right? Even 30 seconds. It took 30 seconds, right? Just to say something.
And I think that's a good way of leading into that, of like, hey, like this is the night where we celebrate and we gather to celebrate the fruits of the labors of these developers, right?
Exactly.
Like, like none of this is here without them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think that would have been the perfect way to pitch it off, and then
the show would have started. They should have shown God of War Valhalla, and it just would have went from there. Yeah, man. I think it was again a lot to still moving forward. I think there needs to be some improvements, but I think
it needs to be shorter. It needs to be shorter.
I think it needs to be shorter too, man.
It needs
I think
to be 3.5 hours. Is rough.
At least streaming wise, it's rough, dude. It's like my ass was killing me
when you're streaming it. Yes, it is. It is long. Yeah,
but
when you're
there,
they're not best long
too.
Yeah, I bet. I know. Damn, I remember which game it was. What fucking there was a game towards the end, like it was like right before the like Alan Wake 2 performance, where that's when I thought like, damn, it was kind of fucking long. Like, what the hell? It was when Jeff's like, oh, we have more amount. I'm like, damn, really? Like, what?
Usually he's like, and don't don't go anywhere. We have the game of the year announcement coming soon. He never said that, so I'm like, dude, this guy's never finishing this shit. Like, what is happening? He's like, no, he's almost done. I was like, oh, I don't know, man. Well, Kevin, thank you again for coming and joining us at the Gaming Duo Pod. Can you leave your where can anybody find you?
Basically? Find me on Twitter /X. I prefer Twitter, but it is what it is. At the KDS123 THEKDIAZ123. No Not here to announce official return to PlayStation Source, but you're gonna want to keep it locked on youtube.com/PlayStation Source in 2024. You know what I'm saying? I got some things cooking. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I plan to come back.
Good to know.
Look, it's when you go so long without podcasting, without making a video, you know, you just get the itch. You know,
you get that itch.
You do. You got to come back.
You just, you know, at least me, it's just like I don't feel like me. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
No,
I feel that. There's times
like,
where we've been doing this for what 3 years now, right? At this
3
point,
years, something like that. Yeah.
And there's been moments where I'm just like, damn, I'm itching to get on to talk about something, you know, like, or this is happening. Like this week in particular was like, damn, this is gonna be a good week. Like I can't wait to talk about this stuff. It was depressing as shit, but nonetheless, it was still good stuff to talk about, right?
It's juicy.
So I feel that. I definitely feel that.
Yeah. It's just, you know, and then also if you watch IGN on the weekends and you're watching a trailer, I probably did that. And make sure to keep locked on IGN, of course, go with the latest in trailers and stuff like that. What my team specializes in, as well as our in-house content and such. You know what I'm saying? You can keep it locked on there, of course. But
absolutely,
yeah, that's about it. It's about it.
Dope. Cool. Rob, any final thoughts before we head out?
Leave us a review on Spotify, your favorite podcast streaming service. 5-star review would be awesome. And again, thank you guys so much for listening to us talk about games for an hour and a half. Really. We'll be back next week. And yeah, I think not Christmas night next week, but the week after, right? We got holidays.
Correct. Yes.
And I hope everyone gets a PlayStation Portal for Christmas.
I hope so. I hope I get one. I put one on my list.
With a good internet connection.
Yes, with the internet connection.
With the fiber.
Also just as we're winding out, you know, as we're heading out, much appreciated to you too. You know what I'm saying? I did had to reschedule this one. Was supposed to be on with Carlos, but I had a family complication. So happy that y'all were so gracefully appreciative and let me reschedule this and everything. It was a great time. Y'all are good hosts. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, man, and it turned out well, man, because we had a ton of news to talk about. So I was glad you were on this episode because I definitely want to hear your thoughts. So thank you guys again for tuning in. This has been the Gaming Duo Pod, and until next time, catch you guys later.
Adios.